their wells going all the way dry, and they ended up signing up with Aqua Utilities for water. And my dad had to get our well freshwater fracked so that it didn't go dry. My dad, being the stubborn old man he is, got a computer, put it in the garage, and then got a well tracker to track depths on every 15-minute increments. And he's had this going for years. So when I got this project, it was a really great opportunity to actually work with that data. So, yeah, my hope was by correlating the groundwater depths with wells in close proximity, I wanted to show that the underground water tables were connected. And there's no real way to show that because a lot of people will just say that if your well goes dry, that means you're using too much water. But if the wells are connected with other wells in close proximity, this would demonstrate that the individual well's daily water usage doesn't affect the depths as much as the rise and fall of the general groundwater table. Where I got the data, the USGS website, it's the United States Geological Society's website, has a lot of this data. Because there were so many water issues in our area, they actually put well trackers on a lot of private wells in the around our house. So our neighbor, for example, the Hicks well, they have one on theirs, and they have, as you can see, 31 observations that I was able to get. Our well is the Fogwell well. We had 45,000 observations, and then the nursery well is about a quarter of a mile away from our house. So our two wells are only probably 100 yards away. The nursery well about a quarter of a mile, they have 55,000. Below, you can see this is the data. That's the raw data that I got from the website. My father's was just an Excel file, but I had to go in and you can see, so there's the daytime, and then that was the depth. So I had to take those and pull those out and then format them. The data pre-processing. The first thing I had to do was import and clean all the data, including formatting the daytime. And that was probably the toughest part. I merged all the data sets using the common variable of the sample time. Once I had the daytime on all three of the data sets, it was really easy to just put them together so I could simply see, each of the different well depths. I next ran correlations using SAS to show that the well depths were connected by a general groundwater table. And I was really pleased with the correlations that I found. The three well depths all had a strong positive correlation, and you can see that top one is going to be the depth between our well and the Hicks well. That's only about probably about 100 meters apart. Right here, it was a 0.9896 correlation strength, which is really, really strong. It was almost 1-to-1. So if our well went up 1 foot, their well went up 1 foot. The nursery was a little bit farther away, about a quarter of a mile, as I said, but that one was still almost, it was a 0.9479. So it's still like a 95% correlation between this, and that's across a quarter of a mile. But it was interesting to see that the closer the well proximity is, the stronger the correlation. correlation. I'd be able to run correlations between their pumping times and then our well levels. So I could say if they kick on their pumps at midnight, then hopefully probably around 1 or 2 in the morning, we'd probably see a dip in our water table. But because I probably won't be able to get that information